Introduce yourself and your media outlet. Good morning, Coach. Good morning. Cesar Lopez from France Press. Coach, in the last match between the last match between Bolivia and Uruguay was for qualifiers last year with a 3-0 victory to Montevideo. Given the current results in Copa America, do you expect to see a similar result? Well, for most of the people that analyze results, that probably is the case. Because, well, everything changes from one match to the next, and that allows you to change the game plan, to change your mindset, and we have had different results from then onwards. So we hope we can play a great match against Uruguay, improve in some aspects that we have discussed, and we have to remain optimistic, and I think we can deliver well against Uruguay, and we will continue on the outlook for a positive result. This is the reason why we work so hard. Results haven't come yet, but we have improved. Mauricio Penoso for Radio 1. I want to ask you about Roberto Carlos Fernández. He was substituted against the US, and we haven't seen a full recovery yet. And I wanted to ask you, Fernando, about the mindset. How do you prepare for the match against Uruguay after the US? Well, Roberto came out because he was tired. He was almost exhausted by the end after all the running. And yesterday, there was a touch on his ankle, but it was just a scare, nothing else. He will be available for the match tomorrow. Well, yes, I thought I was a bit more prepared for a post-match at this level of a tournament. It was hard. It is tough when you cannot change the history. It is difficult when you cannot achieve your expected outcomes, but today I'm really optimistic again, and everyone in the team is so. We want to get the 3 points tomorrow. Of course, it is tiring to lose again, but we are transmitting enthusiasm to each other. Fernando, coach, Rafael Renteria for Zona Mix Sports. Will you change the game plan deeply? Will you make rotations in this one vis-a-vis the one for USA? And Fernando, probably Uruguay is the hardest opponent in this group stage. How is the group preparing for it? Well, I think we have to maintain the foundations or a baseline. We won't be making many changes. I think there is a need for a backbone. And yes, we won't be seeing many modifications. We have to improve. As Fernando said, every defeat is sad. It would be great to start seeing victories, but it's a process. We can see that the players are concerned, that they are really focused on achieving positive results. but they will come when we execute the proposed strategy for each match. And they are giving their best. They are hardworking players in every training session, and they are doing their complete best for every concentration session between us, and hopefully we will be able to modify the results, and that is our aim. So what are we talking about among ourselves? About winning. We want to change this streak, and we trust in our coaching staff and in their game plan. We know it's going to be a very tough match. We are going to face one of the best national teams in the world, but we're going to do it with a strategy and with enthusiasm, and I think we can measure up in many aspects. Maybe in some others we can't, but we have to be positive and go after the result we want. I would love to win a match in Copa America, and it would be beautiful if that was the case against Uruguay. Coach, do you think you can find weaknesses in Uruguay as Panama did in the second half, in the first 15 minutes? As a Brazilian, were you surprised by the result of the match Brazil-Costa Rica? Uruguay, as every other team, has weak spots. They are a team that pressures very high, and they have a great game plan. They are intense players, but as I mentioned, we will work hard today so that tomorrow we can execute our proposed game plan. And about the Brazil-Costa Rica match, it is surprising, but in the case of, you have Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay that are considered major teams, and you have some smaller teams or teams that are not considered world class, but they are still improving. And Brazil is one of the protagonists of this Copa America tournament, and that doesn't change due to a draw against Costa Rica. That is a very well prepared national team as well. And football gives you opportunities, as it gave Costa Rica, and that could happen for us tomorrow. Fernando just mentioned that change doesn't happen in the blink of an eye. What is needed in Bolivia's side for that change to realize? Everything is a process. For national teams, for clubs. I think in the last press conference I mentioned that this team had 10 coaches in the last 10 years. And in the federation, we are talking about long processes for the national team and for the Bolivian soccer as a whole, so that it can improve, it can level up. Criticism comes in relation to the results mainly, but I think it should be analyzed as a whole, taking into account the work of the federation, and we have to continue on this path of improvement in particular, improving the national team's football, and we have already discussed that we believe this is the right path for the future of the Bolivian side. Coach, what is your take on the evolution of the Bolivian players' adaptation to these plain terrains, taking into account the altitude in La Paz? And Fernando, when you played against Bolivar, you already met the Uruguayan goalkeeper. Do you think scoring is an option? Well, we saw the GPS CONMEBOL data, and we are ranking high. These are not our stats, these are CONMEBOL stats. The CONMEBOL has a program for every team in Copa America, and we were able to see that information, and I think it is an important step for us. We are always talking about our fitness and physical conditions, so we're proud of the effort made by the players, and it is an important step for us. Good morning. One second. Okay. I'm really motivated. I am wearing the jersey of my country, and the football players we're going to play against, you see them every week in the Premier League in Europe and in other major leagues. So hopefully I can score against these goalkeeper of our opponent. But I am more focused on the eagerness of our team, and enthusiasm, and in the competition of our team to get to that result. Two questions, Coach. How are you working on the mindset and the psychological traits with the players, and knowing that Uruguay is one of the favorites, what is Bolivia bringing to the pitch? Well, to me, it's very important to be in contact with them every day, to talk to them. I consider myself an experienced player because I was there on the pitch for a long while, and I know this is a delicate moment because results aren't coming, but we have to continue analyzing these and discussing everything all together. As Fernando mentioned, we are going to play against one of the best national teams in the world, maybe the best national team in South America. They had a great season last year, and this year they also have been showing a great performance, and we have to be very attentive to every detail to perform well, and the players are giving it their all. So it is very important to have a great performance, and against Uruguay, it would be great to leave with the 3 points. They are a great team. Thank you very much.